Hello, everybody. I think a couple of people left after lunch. That means the food was good, but I'm happy you guys are back, and I'm actually happy that it's less people. Why, I'm going to say in a second. It is always polite to introduce myself at first. So I work for Platinum Bank. This is a fairly small bank in Ukraine, number 50 on the list of 170 banks in Ukraine. And I've been asked 5 years ago to create a marketing organization in this bank and actually, make something good with it. So we're one of the fastest growing retail banks in Ukraine. 52nd bank in size. We have a pretty wide network of presence of, nearly 2,000, and I missed a zero on that, of various formats. And we're talking social media. So we have quite a lot of experience in it. We started our first internet banking in Q4 2012, and we've been well known, recognized for social media activities. Now, I'm not going to be talking about social media in general, how it works, because you know all that. I mean, you've seen a lot of presentation about it, but there's a lot of discussion about it. If you go to a presentation of CFOs, you're going to hear that it's a waste of money. If you go to presentations by marketing people, they're going to tell you that this is the biggest and best thing ever. So as a marketing director working in banking, you're kind of in the middle between those two positions. Actually, I jumped into it. Is it better if I speak English or Russian? English is fine? Fine? All right. So you're stuck between these two positions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you my experience, how I started when I had absolutely zero opinion about social media and where I am right now. And why I said that it's probably good that, some people laughed is because, if there would be media agencies here, digital media agencies, they would probably want to kill me for what I'm going to say. If my boss would hear this presentation, he would also probably have to fire me because I'm going to admit where I wasted a lot of money. Okay, so here we go. A little bit of a tough reality of Ukraine. Who's working in Ukraine? Just can you raise a hand? Who has a business here? All right, so I'm going to, 2 seconds. Banking is tough everywhere in the world. Yeah, but here it's especially tough. This country has been up and down and growing and collapsing. And in the middle of that, we got 176 banks who are competing for the same customer. And the number of that customers is not growing. This is not China. We actually have a declining number of customers and a very small middle class. So I think all of my colleagues who work in this market have been in discussion of the CEO going, well, we need more sales, get me some new sales channels. And obviously the natural, suspects are two these days, mobile and social media. I mean, this comes up immediately. This is the first thing you Google, and God forbid your CEO goes on a marketing conference and he hears these words, because then he's coming back with tasks. Why do we want to go there? Because people spend time there. We know that, but there is an equivalent between how many marketing dollars are being spent in social media, between how much time people spend there. So we see it as potential. But the problem is that social media are a very, very weird animal. And we as bankers have a lot of trouble understanding it. Actually, even media people don't even understand it just yet. But they're not going to tell you that. How is it weird? It's the only media channel where people live. I've never heard somebody having a TV life, a press life, but everybody has an online life. Everybody has their presence, their image. They live online. They have friends online. They don't have friends on TV. They have friends online. And that forces us to approach the media absolutely differently. So why do people go online? Well, in order to be successful there, we got to understand why do people go online. So first reason is actually, I think, is because they want to go away from the real life. They know how real life works, and they go online even while they're working to get away from it. That's reason number one. Second of all, because it makes it easy to talk to people. They can talk to all their friends while sitting at their desktops. That's unique. That's great. And they want to have fun. The world is not a funny place right now. People really want to have fun online, and that's why they do that. And I just decided to test it for a sec, this hypothesis of mine. And I figured, let's test it. So I looked at it. Mr. Barack Obama. Marketing people will give you a great explanation that this is a social media which allows you to connect with everybody. So I assumed you want to talk to the biggest people. I mean, you want to hear them speak. You want to approach them. Before social media couldn't do it, now you can. And I put him in contest versus Mishka the talking dog, which normally for us banker, this would be, this is not even a battle. But truth is, in online, Mr. Obama got 2.4 million views, and Mishka the talking dog got 84 million. So if the voting would be going online, we would be learning how to bark right now. Luckily, it isn't. Lucky it isn't. And if you notice, if you look at the most popular videos of Mr. Obama, it's not him making the speech about how he's going to manage the world in the next year. It's him making jokes on a dinner. Okay? People do not go online to be smarter. They want to be entertained. And the funny thing is that Mr. Obama and Mishka doesn't even win. It's the funny Korean guy who got 1.6 billion views, and he's being followed on YouTube by 500 million views of 2 infants biting each other's fingers. Okay, you got to keep that in mind when you're going online. So social media is kind of a party place. It's not a media channel. It's a party place where people go to relax. And what did I do when I started going to social media? And I think a lot of you will recognize the same behavior. I went there and treated it as a media channel. I started advertising. I put out banners and clicks and whatever, and didn't work for hell. And then I went back to my media agency and asked, why is it not working? They're like, okay, you can't go into media, into social media with advertising. You have to provide some value. Because people want to see value on their walls, on their Facebook walls, and their Twitters. You need to provide them something. So we came up with media strategies, social media strategies. We started posting about money and finance, about where does money come from, how to save more money, how to earn more money. We started building social branches, giving the ability for people to chat with bankers online. And we failed. And we failed completely. Why am I saying again? Just not to be empty-worded. I took Mishka again as an example. And I wouldn't, go against Mishka after Obama lost to him. But I took the top 5 successful banks in Ukraine, the biggest ones, and go on Facebook this time and see how we're doing against Mishka. So Mishka against the top 5 Ukrainian banks on SMM, the most recognized banks, is again a lost battle. Mishka has 58,000 fans. We got 59,000 together. Okay? And I was thinking, okay, this is not bad. Mishka is an entertainer. We're bankers. We should be good in investing money. So, okay, we're not popular, but we're better at investing money. No, we're not. Because Mishka's social media budget is $0. I think we're spending a little bit more than that. So, why are we failing again? My view on that is that social media likes entertainment. I mean, people want to be entertained there to begin with. Of course, they do other stuff too. They shop, they like discounts, but none of that we can provide. I'm sorry, but bankers are not entertainers. I mean, look at us, how we're dressed. We're never going to be able to entertain people the way Mishka does. We're just going to lose. People go away. People go on social media to run away from stuff we're selling. Because what we're selling is, we're bailing them out if they don't have money to buy their dream. We're helping them save for the future when they're old and then cannot earn more money. This is stuff which is not entertaining. I don't want to be thinking about not having a job in 30 years online. That's not what I go there. I don't want people to remind me about my problems. And when we talk about that, actually, it scares away people. So logically, in order to be successful online for bankers, if you take into account these factors, we would have to be funny and not talk about banking products. And then we're going to be hugely successful. The problem is, how on earth are we going to sell banking products then? If we can't admit we're bankers and we can't talk about our products. And this is where I think most social media strategies fail in banks, because we cannot provide value. This was an epiphany moment for me. I cannot provide valuable value to online users. They don't want what I can provide. They want what Mishka can provide, but that doesn't mean I should not be there. Why I should be there? Let's go back to the basics, the customer. let's look at his behavior. I looked at the Ukrainian customer, and I'm pretty sure he's very similar to other customers in the world right now. His major specific is that he's scared. Ukrainian people more than any others. They've been through so many crises, so many bad coming out of the TV. They're scared. They're really, really scared. And Ukrainian people especially are not used to being asked for an opinion. They've been living under a regime so long that they usually, if you have an opinion, you're going to jail. And that's still a mental approach, which is, of course, going to change over generations, but it is. People are not speakers here. They don't speak their opinions. If you have your Facebook wall, they're not just going to post for it. These people are not really easy to get mad, which is good for bankers. They are going to take a lot of bad customer service and everything and stay with you. But they still have to bank. That's good for us bankers. Everybody has to bank. Even there was a presentation before I showed. People hate it, but just like a pharmacy, they have to go there, and we're lucky. But where do they get the information from? This is actually from JFK. Where do you get your banking information from? 57% of people do it through friends and family and colleagues. 45% gets their information from the TV. 21% asks a banking employee, and 10% and growing from the internet. So basically, friends, TV, and internet are the leading options. Banking employees, not really. They don't want to ask us because they know we're going to lie. And where does social media come in? If you look what social media is actually, it is friends plus entertainment, meaning TV, plus internet. Social media is going to take away with time all those three things. It's going to become with time a major information source for clients, and we already see it happening. So even though we cannot provide value there, I mean, we have to be there or we're going to be completely losing the battle. So, but then again, we have to go there. But what do we go with? We cannot be the popular guys at the party. And popular guys is what people are looking for online. We're not funny. We can bring value, if you go after my metaphor, but we still have to be invited to the great party where everybody is discussing everything. What strategy can we adopt? And when I was thinking about that metaphor, is that on every party you go to, I mean, think back on your college times. You've been to parties. Of course, there's a lot of popular people who are invited. But there's always one person who doesn't fit in. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not going to insult anybody, but that's just a metaphor. It's a little bit chubby girl who's not the most beautiful girl. Nobody hits on her. She's usually quiet in the corner, but she's there. She's always invited. Why is she invited? The answer is because she's a good listener. Because people need somebody to listen. With all the talkers around the world, everybody on social media talks, there needs to be a listener. And if we think about the strategy, then social media for banking starts working. So social media gives people, quiet people, the option to speak up. And they do, they use it. Even the Ukrainian people who are afraid to speak up, on social media, they speak up. They're not going to attack the bank, but they're going to talk to each other. Social media gives them access to experts to ask about their opinion, and they can talk about everything online, and they do. And social media, for the first time ever, gives us bankers, who are actually very much hated by customers usually, to listen in. We can tap in on any phone conversation there is between clients, and that's just priceless for us. And not only listening, but we can actually find the loudest speakers and convert them to speak on our behalf. And I'm just going to spend 5 minutes on how we did this. The value of talking. Again, as I said, I spend a lot of time and money on setting up our Facebook profile, Twitter account, posting about money. It got me 2,500 fans. And that's already a winning strategy in Ukraine. It was awarded one of the best. I think it was horrible. And I don't know how these people converted into actual clients. I have no clue of tracking it pretty much. Then the value of listening. We just looked at one of the forums which is out there about discussions about finance in Ukraine. And I found 10,000 free, unsolicited, honest opinion about my work online. 1.2 million people read those opinions. The value, the market value of getting those opinions, providing enough focus groups, is $3 million. I would have spent $3 million just to get those opinions, and they wouldn't be as honest and open as these were. Because people would be sitting in closed work groups, you know, they know the right answer, they're being paid to be there, and so on. This is priceless. So taking forward, looking at it, reading is okay. And I think as bankers we have to. There was talk about it that it's horribly hard to read it, but we have to read it. But there's one more thing. If you calculate the correlation between readers and talkers, it turns out that one of every 160 Ukrainian talks, all of the other read and formulate their opinion. And so who are the people who write? They're usually the most problematic people, the worst clients, the ones who get actually pissed off. And they're going to write, and 160 people are going to listen to each of them. And what do we do usually with the client? Everybody has a perfect PR strategy to actually just shut him up, to make him disappear, to channel his anger through our PR channels and make him quieter. Now with social media, what I found, there's an interesting phenomenon which we all know, we just forget to use it, I think, enough. What if we not shut him up, but we change his message? Because he's a very rare asset. I mean, Ukrainians do not talk, do not complain. They're looking for opinions, but there are people who are willing to share their opinions, very rarely. So if you can catch them and change their message to support you actually, then, because they're not going to stop talking. You can't make them stop talking on social media. To change the message they're doing. So they will fight for you and become what we know as brand ambassador, and people are going to listen to them instead of your post because they're authentic, they're people like them. And how we did this, of course, these people are looking for attention. Just give them attention. Just sit down with one person who's actually going to answer, deal with their crap. They usually don't know what they're talking about. We get mad about it. Just answer their questions, and that's what we're doing. Every bad comment on us gets answered right now with Platinum Bank. And usually, actually, we see, if you read this post, it's easy to convert them to be your friends. Because if you say, sorry, we didn't mean this to happen, you know, this was bad process, please help us improve this, they're actually later going to talk as your ambassadors. We know it from marketing that the people who are the most against you are the most probable to be with you if you help them out. So just to give you a hint how far you can go, when we were launching our first internet banking, it was a nightmare project of 2 years. We knew it was going to be horrible at first. We knew there were big expectations. We know that it was going to be horrible. So what did we do? Instead of waiting for a flood of bad information about us, we identified the top 50 speakers on this forum, which is the biggest forum, and we approached them. And these were the people who hated us the most. And we asked them to try it and speak up. We caught them off guard. They didn't actually expect it. And we actually gave them another instrument. This is the, I don't know how you call it in English. Who knows this thing you play on? The little drum. And it says with our logo on it, Jest problema, bej w buben. Which, buben means actually drum. But in Ukrainian slang, actually, it means hit somebody in the face. So we, like, metaphorically give him an option to step up and hit us in the face if there is a reason to. And the response was enormous. Actually, we got very limited bad opinion. They actually started writing to us and for us, defending us. And even later, these ambassadors keep working. I mean, just lately, we had a negative letter on our Facebook wall from a journalist whose wife somehow got tangled up in her collection processes, and we ended harassing her with, you know, predictive dialers and emails and messages and SMSs, which is a complete mistake. And he got, of course, pissed off, and we posted it online, and he threatened to go to the media because he's a journalist, he's got all the media access, he's a media friend, and of course, this topic became popular. A journalist bashing banks. 323 people joined the discussion, a lot of them journalists. This is a PR nightmare. But what happened is, no matter what we posted, it didn't help. Of course, we were the bad guys. No matter what you say, you're just complaining yourself. What happened is actually those people who we fought before, they stepped in for us. The brand ambassadors came in, joined the conversation, and said, ho, 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 guys, these are not the bad guys. They're actually trying their best. Yeah, they screw up sometimes, but they're actually nice people. And actually, we converted the journalist into praising us too later. He's saying that, okay, thank you for handling this. Maybe I overreacted. Let's not go there. You guys are actually cool. We wouldn't be able to do this without the ambassadors. So anyway, to summarize, does it give long-term results? You see here a table of us versus the competitors in size. You see the closest competitor is 7 times bigger than we are in asset size. I compared Facebook fans, comments, and views on different medias. Facebook is Facebook, comments and views is forums. So you see there is no correlation between size, asset size, and fans. Social media gives you a huge advantage over the big guys, actually, to be more popular in social media. And what's also very important to me is the comments per 1,000 views. How active are your customers? And lovers versus haters. So if you look at it, I got 10,000 comments about my business, where the giant of this country got 15,000. His 15,000 comments, 85% of them were absolutely negative from people who hated him. And 3 million people read those opinions. I got a different statistic for myself. I got 10,000 comments and 63% more positive than negative. And I got 1.2 million readers of that. But notice one more thing. We've been talking about Facebook a lot. The giant has 24,000 friends. Well, my question is, where the hell are those friends when 85% of your people are posting 15,000 bad opinions about you? Those are not fans. Those are people you bought probably with lotteries and please join us and whatever. So don't mistake fans for actual fans who are going to be brand ambassadors. So does this get us anywhere? I'm not telling that this social media strategy is going to win the battle. No, it's not. It's only a part of what you do. It's only one channel you have to use. But we got pretty good at it, and right now we're the top 10 bank in our segment. We got multiple awards. Actually, pretty much on every award where the clients are voting, we're actually winning. Best retail bank of the country, although we're number 52. Best deposit product, most innovative bank. 4th place in the most electronic banks. We got awards for social media activities. And what's most important, and I think this is where social media really plays in, but I really cannot prove it, and nobody can, even if they tell you otherwise. I have an 18% referral rate. 18% of my clients are coming based on the referrals from friends, family, internet, which means I'm not paying a single dime for sourcing them. And that's just priceless, and that allows me to be one of the most profitable banks in this country, actually. So my lessons learned, to sum up and to give over the microphone to people smarter than I am, is there's a tremendous value in social marketing. You know this. But as people before me said, it is very hard for us to provide value. If you don't know how to use it, don't force it. You're going to spend $1 million on it and you're going to waste them. Actually, try to be more listening. Be the chubby girl in the corner. Listen in, because that's the real value is. And if you're going, don't do the standard evolution of you take a media agency, you go to Facebook, and you hope you're going to get through to people. I think that's not going to work. You don't have any value for them. People do not want banks, they want banking. What, for me, proved to be more successful is actually listening, finding who speaks the most, taking them private, converting them to brand ambassadors, and let him talk to you. That is what's going to make money for you in social media. So this is what I wanted to share. Admit where I wasted a lot of money. And I hope this helps somebody in this room, and you're going to use it in the future. Thank you.